Welcome to Marketing Recap, the weekly roundtable that gives you an inside peek into the latest news from the world of digital marketing and what it means for your business to help you stay ahead of the curve. Co-hosted by Cynthia Johnson of RankLab, Blake Jamieson of BlakeJamieson.com, and BJ Smith from The Busy Marketer. Ready to join the conversation? Let's get to today's headlines. Welcome to Marketing Recap. In this episode, we're talking about news from Facebook's F8 conference and Meerkat's newest competitor. If you're watching us live on the Google Hangout or on YouTube, we want to hear from you, so join us live on the Twitter chat. Using the hashtag MRcap. We want your questions, your comments, and we want to share some of them on the show tonight. So jump in the chat right now, hashtag MRcap. And if you're wondering what that ding was, did everybody hear it? I'm sure it did because it went right through my mixer. That's my wife telling me that she got to Kentucky safely. So, all right, so let me introduce our roundtable for tonight. Our resident Facebook ads expert from Pool Supply World and Arch Digital Agency, and he's got something else that he wants to tell us about going on. Mr. Blake Jamieson, what's going on? Tonight you're not just a Facebook ads expert, are you?
No. Got a bunch of things going on. So number one, I got this Meerkat going. Bam. So
it's going now live.
Yeah, so it's going out live. So they're getting a little different angle, seeing the same content, but a little different approach. And then also, like you mentioned, I recently started a new project, which is actually called for Twitter, not Facebook, and it's called twitterworkshop.com. And basically, I'm doing a 7-day workshop with 20 people, helping them grow their Twitter following, but more importantly, just kind of come up with a strategy that they can repeat and actually engage with their followers and make influencers retweet them and follow them back and stuff. So it's going to be really fun. We've got 12 out of 20 spots filled. It just opened up this morning, so twitterworkshop.com is where people can get more info. But yeah, besides that, stoked for the show.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's talk to our next roundtabler, Director of Marketing. And so, what is that? What are you holding up there?
Oh, periscoping. Sorry.
So we've got a Meerkat, we've got a Periscope, and I'm doing nothing because my bandwidth probably won't handle the live Google Plus stream at this point. I'll let you guys do all that for us. So, all right. So the Director of Social Media. Marketing and Social Media at RankLab, and the Editorial Director for SocialMediaClub.org. Please welcome the Social Media Girl, Cynthia Johnson. What's up, Cynthia?
Woo. Okay, so I've got Periscope to the left side, and then you guys here. Yeah, it's been a long week. It's been fun. It's been very exciting. So I'm excited about Periscope tonight. It's going to be a great topic. So, yeah.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know me, I am BJ Smith, e-commerce marketing coach at thebusymarketer.com and host of the other podcast, the Busy Marketer Podcast, that you can find on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and a few other places. And for my fellow podcast listener out there, please take a minute and leave Marketing Recap a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. You can find those real quick by going to marketingrecap.com/iTunes or marketingrecap.com/Stitcher. All right, let's jump into our stories. We've got a few of them. It's been a very, very busy week. Yesterday was day one of Facebook's developer conference, F8. We've seen a slew of tech goodies come out of it in the past few days, including things like the Messenger platform, spherical video, unmanned aircrafts, and artificial intelligence. These guys are doing all kinds of craziness. So two things that really kind of captured my attention when it comes to helping businesses with marketing, and that is the businesses on Messenger and embedded videos. So, for years now we've been publishing videos to YouTube and embedding them on our websites and blogs, and now Facebook kind of wants a piece of that action too. Blake, have you looked into that yet? Have you actually played with the new embedded videos?
I haven't. I just saw it. But I can think of a lot of applications for using them because I've been loving. I try to fix the blurriness.
Oh yeah, did you see that? Sorry.
Yeah, I've I've really been enjoying the Facebook video and getting a lot of reach with them. And I've experimented with. I've done some with my webcam like this, and I've done some with my Sony camera, which isn't here. And yeah, they're going really good. So if I can embed those on blog posts or wherever, I think that's great. I have a few blogs in the works. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's a video that might work for them. I'm not sure. So maybe next week I'll have some firsthand experience.
Do you guys think that this is something that other businesses are going to accept? I mean, they've been used to using YouTube for so long. Is it something that we can transition over to start using the Facebook without freaking a bunch of people out?
I think that the reason that people still use Google Video, including myself, and by Google Video, YouTube, I mean, is because you get an SEO benefit where you can be, you might have a blog post that tells how to do something, and you've got a video about it, and then you've got your written post with an embedded video, and then on the Google search result page, you could show up twice, because you could show up once for the video and once for the content itself. So I think that's going to keep the SEO benefit. So there will be, I think, a little resistance, but if Facebook can figure out the kind of open graph search that I know that they've been, I mean, it's not a new thing, but if you can do kind of post-level searching and it's a little bit better, so more people are like looking for things on Facebook, then I think the video would be more valuable. I mean, one thing that I like about the Facebook player is that it's like really clean looking compared to YouTube is not, and that's, in my opinion, why a lot of people use like Vimeo or Wistia as a hosting solution for videos, because they just look so much cleaner on a page than the YouTube player. So there's a lot of moving parts. YouTube could clean up their design. Facebook could get better at search, but I think it'll be good.
One of the things that I like about it, and the idea is, yeah, I'm kind of looking back to what you were saying there with the SEO benefits that we get out of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube, I mean, we can't overlook it because it is one of the largest search engines that are actually that's out there. So I don't think it's a question of one over the other. I think you're probably using both, but I think for, as far as uploading your video, but I think for embedding video, I'm liking the idea of using Facebook, because that is actually going to, well, hopefully draw people back to my Facebook account as well. Maybe they'll see something they like and they want to go back there and learn a little bit more. If I embed a video in Medium or something like that, maybe that's another way that I can get people to connect with me. And I think that, I could be wrong, but I like the idea of connecting with that audience, and then they can see more than just my videos. They can see, articles that I'm writing. They can see comments. They can see notifications for the marketing recap show. All that stuff that's really important in life. And if they're just going to YouTube, then they're only going to see my videos, right?
Right.
I think you make a good point here, and also when it comes to advertising, I mean, if there's video. Plus, like you said, with everything else going on the Facebook page, I mean, Facebook could start to offer, like full-scale companion ads with video, and there are things like that that make the user experience cleaner. Because now, that's another issue with YouTube. Those ads are horrible. You wait sometimes like 30 seconds, and they're long, and they don't apply to you, but yeah, I mean, I actually don't see Facebook needing much time to at least come close to the level of video consumption that YouTube's at, in my opinion.
It would be really interesting, and by interesting, I mean an opportunity for a short period of time and then really annoying. But if Facebook started doing pre-rolls on people's timeline videos and stuff as another way to monetize, that would be a good thing.
Unless you could click through and like the page immediately from the video, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even your own advertising inside of it would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the pre-roll stuff goes, I think I monetize most of the stuff that I put on YouTube, and I think in the last 4 or 5 months I may have made like 50 cents off of YouTube. I know that there's some people who are making some decent cash off of it. But if it comes to getting more engagement by having them come to view a Facebook video versus making some pocket change off of pre-rolls from YouTube, I'm going to take the engagement off of Facebook any day.
Yeah. I mean, but I actually just don't. It's Facebook. They love to monetize. I feel like we should take advantage now before there's like interstitial ads and minute-long pre-rolls or whatever it is. Before I did a campaign years ago where there was a live concert. I think I've talked about this before. So Facebook can actually do things like that where the video, you can't turn the sound on, or there's certain things about the video you can't do unless you perform some sort of action. I mean, that would be very interesting. It would increase their engagement a lot as well.
Cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about that other thing that I was talking about that happened at F8, and that is businesses on Messenger. And I think that we still have a little bit to learn about what's going on with this, because this was just a brief announcement and a web page that showed up all of a sudden yesterday. But in the next few weeks, businesses will be able to allow customers to communicate with them directly over Messenger. And it can take place of transactional messages that we traditionally use email or SMS to send, like order confirmations and tracking information, with integrations like maps and tracking information, USPS and UPS and FedEx and all those guys. It could make for a much more rich user experience. And there's also a huge customer service opportunity that they seem to be having available to them. Customers can begin a conversation with your company and get an immediate response right there on Messenger. So no more of that, 24, 48-hour email replies or waiting on hold for, all that stuff that's really annoying as a customer. Going out and tweeting to somebody or, placing a post on their wall. Instead, they've got integrations with Zendesk and some other stuff where this is actually going to be a legit, if you have the manpower, legit customer service system where I could go in there and I say, hey, look, I've got a question about how this widget works, or this came in, it was broken, what can you do about it, and get a fairly quick interaction with the customer right there on Facebook. What do you guys think that this is going to do to some of the traditional mediums like email?
Go ahead, Cynthia, if you want.
I don't know. I think it'll probably improve upon a few things, like newsletters. I mean, gosh, I get so many updates, and half the time you don't even realize that you've opted into something, and it comes to your email, and you don't read it. Like, it's just, I don't 90% of the time probably, and it may be too. It's that like you don't realize who it's from or something. I mean, there's messaging wrong. But with Facebook, I pay attention to every single message that comes through. So I think that initially there'll be much.
What about your other inbox?
My spam inbox. What?
Yeah. The other tab inbox on Facebook. Because sometimes, I mean, I'm always on top of messages from friends, obviously, but if somebody shoots me a random message and then it ends up in my other box, I don't end up usually seeing it for like a week.
Yeah, actually, I do check that, and the reason being, I post in a lot of groups. And when you post in certain groups, yeah, like people will forward messages to each other, and then the only way to get a hold of you would be through Facebook. But yeah, I don't check it very often. That's true. Probably every 3 days, 4 days, maybe. I don't know. I think that because of mobile, like it's much easier to. You're always on Facebook, the alerts, the push notifications. I mean, my email blows up all day, and then I just sometimes I just get irritated and wipe it out, so I don't have to look at the red number anymore.
I think one of the things that's really going to kind of be interesting with this is is that rich experience, because email is very limited to it's essentially either a text format or a basic HTML format. You can't watch a video inside of an email. You can do like animated GIFs and put a screenshot of a video, and when you click it, take them to a page that looks like this email, but you're really, on a website. And with the integrations and the ability that Messenger has built into it, you're going to be able to do so much more than you can. One of the things that I saw in a demo, somebody was asking a question about some clothing, and the person who was doing the other side of the customer service from using Messenger was able to send over new pictures and links and all this stuff like immediately to the customer. People could see. One of the things that I saw was an actual map. It was probably a Bing map or something like that, and it showed a delivery line on it tracking the progress of the package that was coming through. So I think that not only is there that nice immediacy, and they've said for years now that SMS has so much higher of a response rate, an open rate, than email does, that this is almost like taking that to the next level, because you get that Bing from
Sorry, say that again. What has a higher response than email?
SMS texting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just because it's not spammed up yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yet that's the thing, but yeah, and not everybody's figured it out. There's only a few people who are doing SMS well, and I think that there's going to be some more opportunities with Messenger. I agree that that's probably going to end up spammed, full of spam here eventually, but it's the new hot thing right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely have 99 messages in my other mailbox right now. So I don't know. That's a lot. I should check those.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same thing, because it doesn't show up. Like, you have to look for them, to find them.
Yeah. And even when you click on it, it's like takes you to so all this time I thought I was checking them. Great. Oh, the other thing too I should mention about the whole Facebook Messenger is the integration of apps.
Roy just sent me a message about. Sorry to interrupt. I just think it's funny. I don't want to go back to the SMS thing. Roy's like, you're wearing the perfect shirt to talk about things being spammed up. So I figured I'd show it off. It's a Gary Vaynerchuk shirt. Marketers ruin everything, which is true.
Yes, it is. It's true.
I mean, I don't know. I think that like with Twitter video, for example, I think is the perfect thing that is so easy. And the whole Twitter workshop, I mean, that's a huge part of it, because it's been very clutch for me to build relationships with.
Yeah.
But I know it's going to get ruined, but for a while it's good. Like, I'm just going to milk it. So, yes,
Look at it in an honest way, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's honest right now. He's going to milk it.
Exactly.
Not one of those marketers that screws stuff up, though. All right. So
Sorry
I was.
By the way, Cynthia. And then
That's okay. I just forgot my thought and everything. I can see your reflection, by the way.
I know it's. Oh, this side. How do I cover it? There you go. I just saw reverse.
Perfect.
Okay. I don't see anybody else complaining about it, so you're all right. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's talk about some live streaming. Do you guys have you seen anything that we need to mention from the Twitter chat? I've seen that people seem to be all about the Facebook video. Timothy is saying that the Facebook video is better, period, more marketable for small businesses, which is interesting.
I said, I always love Timothy because he's very firm in his answers, and he's usually right. So, yeah, it is great for small businesses because the reach is greater, and also that whole YouTube automated, taking down of YouTube pages. That's a big issue, and I don't know how Facebook doesn't do that. So that could kind of shift certain users who were already ready to leave YouTube and move on to something else.
Just so all the folks who are just taking it because there's not a better option, and now there is, and actually, Twitter announced this a week or two ago, so you can embed Twitter videos now, as well. So this is actually this is one of the cases where Twitter beat Facebook to the punch. All right, so let's talk about some streaming video, because I know we got into it last week and we talked about the Meerkat. We were kind of all over the place because we were hanging out with Ben at South by Southwest, and now we've had a little bit more time to play around with some stuff. And Blake has been blowing up the Meerkat this week, and today Twitter finally pulled the trigger on Periscope. So I've been all over Periscope today. I think Cynthia is streaming Periscope right now. Is that right?
Oh, I was, and I had 8 viewers, but then they all went away. I dropped the phone. It was so, but yes, it's great. Am I on silent? Okay.
I got a video.
And
I love
Blake's
Periscope.
Blake's on Meerkat, yeah?
Yep.
I'll challenge your Meerkat right now.
So, all right, so talk about it. What do you think about the two products now that you've had a chance to kind of play around with both?
I've used Meerkat way more, but there's a few things that I think could be way better. When I want to be able to type on desktop and type in a tweet and it to show up in the Meerkat comments, that would be extremely clutch, because most of the time, I mean, to be honest, like typing on Meerkat is really clumsy. So trying to comment, and that's both for the viewers, that sucks. So if there was a way where if they could, because it shows up on Twitter as like a reply to the original tweet saying live now, blah blah blah, Meerkat link. So if you could just reply to that and then it would show up in app, I think that would be a huge improvement. There's also there's another app that I played with, Hang With, that has some cool features, and I think Periscope does this too, Cynthia, is they save your streams after automatically. Is that right?
You usually download it. I did my first stream today, and it gave me the download. I thought it was going to give me like a screenshot of the stats, and then I realized it downloaded the entire video that I just produced. What do you think about? I had a conversation with Lucy, and I'm surprised I don't actually see Lucy in the Twitter chat right now, but I had a conversation with her this morning about pros and cons of having the comments showing up in Twitter. So, I think it's interesting. I like the Meerkat showing up in Twitter when people are making comments, and she didn't like it because it seemed very random, and I can totally see that if you don't realize that somebody's involved watching a Meerkat and they're having a conversation with somebody else, because there's no hashtags or anything in there that are part of it to let you know that that's what's going on. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they should either hashtag it or include a link to the Meerkat so people have context.
Yeah, and you see that in the beginning, or if you do a retweet. But honestly, if I see something that's going on random, I'm probably not going to go to somebody's profile to see if they've retweeted to show what kind of Meerkat they're in. So it almost needs to be something that gives a clue that attaches itself to every comment. Now, I know that makes the comment smaller because you're still limited to Twitter's 140 characters.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I am not pleased with Periscope, and my very first Periscope experience today was pretty poor, and that was mostly because I didn't know the app. I jumped into Greg Weiss's stream talking about some stuff this morning, and I wanted to make a comment, and when I did, I popped up the keyboard, it pushes all the comments up to the top, and then I can't see what's going on in the background. So after I hit my comment, I need to get rid of my keyboard. I'm using my phone, so I didn't notice the little X next to it. So what I did is I'm going to swipe the keyboard away. I swiped it down, and then the stream was gone. It closes out the stream when you do that, and I had no idea where it was. I couldn't find it again. I was like, I want to listen to this. I want to get back in this conversation, but I can't figure out how to get back in there. So that that annoyed me pretty much. But other than that, I did a back-to-back Meerkat and Periscope this morning just to see what was going on and talk about some of the things that were happening. Each one was pretty short, but I had way more engagement on Periscope than I did on Meerkat, which was really surprising considering it just launched.
Yeah. So I installed Periscope today, and I did the same thing. I did a quick little one. One of the things that I noticed is that Periscope didn't share, like it didn't automatically tweet that I was doing a Periscope.
I think that was a feature that was, if I'm not mistaken, broken until like very recently.
Oh.
And yeah, so when I saw it this morning, when I was when I was using it this morning, it showed the Twitter bird icon with a red slash through it, and there was no way that I could activate it to make it happen. Now, when I did the Periscope, as I was setting up for the show tonight around 9:30, it was there. So when I tapped, it was already selected for me. So I went and started the stream. It actually automatically sent it out to Twitter for me.
Okay. So I just started a Periscope because I only had one viewer on Meerkat. So it's interesting. So there's a couple things going on that I just noticed. I used to, everything that I was doing all weekend until right now, every time I did a Meerkat, I got at least 10 people on it. But I just did 2 of them for the behind the scenes and then the show itself, and I got none, like not none, 1 and 2. And your score is driven by how many people are there for how long, so my score wasn't going up. So I did.
Wait, guys, there's something very important happening.
Yeah.
So, okay, remember I told you I used to work at the live stream website and that we couldn't guarantee what was on the other side of the video.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's live. Yeah, okay. Well, ever since I downloaded Periscope, my video, like everything is marked as may contain sensitive material, which means that they have to do that for advertising. That must be because it just happened right now. Because as soon as I downloaded it, I was like, well, that's weird. The MRcap like banner thing is blocked for sensitive material.
Oh, because you hashtagged it with Meerkat.
No, it's not Meerkat. It's when I downloaded Periscope.
Oh.
Because Periscope's owned by Twitter, so that's where the ads will be. So they have to put sensitive material in that, which means that sucks. Like, what? That's really weird. Can you look on yours and see if it did the same thing? Because it just happened.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm very upset by it. I just really, that.
While you're doing that, I have noticed that the wannabe porn stars, the next Ginny cameras are already out there. When I was talking to somebody else earlier this week, and I think Blake, you were in that conversation with the DIY marketers, and one of the things she sent me was she's like, "Here, look at this," and it was a screenshot of Meerkat of a bathroom that had like a steamy shower just in the corner. She's like, "There's 150 guys in this conversation," and they're
watching. Funny. I jumped onto that. I was curious. So I jumped on and when I watched the stream, and it was just she had at that point the girl had like been out of the shower and she like just had like a towel on and she was basically just like talking to people while she was getting ready, and all these dudes were like, drop the towel, and she's like, no, and that was pretty much.
I wonder how long it's going to be before that starts happening.
It's totally happened already.
When I logged into Periscope this morning, I saw several. You know how you've got the featured streams, and then there's like little lines, little tags of other streams down there. Reading some of the titles that people have put on there, you're like, those are definitely questionable. They're probably not safe for work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the second Meerkat that I did tonight, I said hashtag BlakeCam, and then I said, I don't know, what did I say? Probably not naked or definitely not naked, something like that. I was just trying to include the word naked somehow so I'd get more viewers.
Yeah, this is really smart. Well, it's smart that they're doing this because now they're protecting. They're protecting themselves for future advertising. But like that sucks. I'm not seeing my own media in my feed.
So my Periscope did not make a notification. It did not make a tweet. I look at my tweets right now, and the last thing I see are my 2 Meerkats.
So when you go to broadcast, you have 3 icons that are at the top where you've got location. I forgot what the one in the middle was, and then you've got the Twitter. I had location disabled on mine, so the first 2 were grayed out, but Twitter was black.
I guess you can't get to it after the fact.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
This has to be a mistake. I'm just really upset by this. um, okay, so I don't have my location turned on either. Is that?
I didn't want my location on. I usually
Yeah, like
broadcast out
how
of my
creepy
house. So I
can you
don't.
be? Oh, I see. So when you go to do it live, there's a button. You have to click. No? What the?
Try it in a second. It's uploading.
Okay, so it says it's going to be on Twitter. Starting the broadcast. Okay, let's see. Da, da, da.
Boom,
Moment of
there we
truth.
are. Live on Periscope. Hashtag MRcap.
Really?
Him
Yep.
calling me out. Says, are we surprised that people are trying to use their body to get more views on Meerkat and Periscope? Blake Jamieson.
Shifty eyes. Way to go, Timothy.
Yeah, Timothy. Okay, I'm going to set this up. So I'm live. Hi.
Oh,
And you guys are all live too.
private broadcast. Interesting. Twitter.
It's really hard to do both. Okay. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So.
Twitter post off. How do I change that, Cynthia?
Oh, you just put when you go to. Okay, hold on. I'm going live again.
Okay.
No. Ah, stop. Oh, I hate hearing my own voice sometimes. Okay, so when you hit the camera button, there's going to be you have to turn the Twitter bird on. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
It won't turn on until you type something, though, officially.
I was able to get it to turn on. I just had to click it a couple times.
And then if you want to turn the location on, you just click on the other one.
Yeah, that one's already on.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Great. Yeah, there's always there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot more viewers in.
Periscope.
Yeah, I've only used Meerkat once actually, so I see that.
But I've seen that. I've noticed that. Even tonight when I've had like next to no viewers on either one, I still had some viewers on Periscope when I didn't have any on Meerkat. Is that the graph thing? Is that because I got into Meerkat after Twitter cut them off from their graph, so maybe there's not as many people who found out about me and followed me, but man, this morning I was getting notifications like crazy on Periscope where people were finding me and following me all over the place. It's crazy.
Whoa.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like on Meerkat it's a problem because of the leader. So the leaderboard is really like discovery is just a huge problem for me on Meerkat because if I'm not following them on Twitter, they're not going to show up on Meerkat. And even like trying to just navigate the ones they like recommend, which are people I'm following, it's like really laggy.
By the way, you're showing up as Pool Supply World.
I'm showing up as Pool Supply World?
Yeah. So
for what?
Pool Supply World is live on Periscope.
Oh.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've done that so many times.
Yeah,
even
so
the
we're doing a live. Actually, that's funny. So Roy and I are doing a live. We're calling it Pool AMA tomorrow, and so we sent out an email saying, "Hey," and we have a bunch of stuff to give away. So we sent out an email and said, "Hey, we're going to be on Periscope tomorrow, and we're going to be answering any of your questions that you have if you hashtag Pool AMA." And we've gotten like 65 questions like in one night so far, like within an hour. It's insane. So we're going to do a Periscope, and so that's why I guess I was logged in. It's funny because I'm logged into Twitter on my phone as Blake Jamieson, but it's logged in as Pool Supply World on Periscope. I'm going to change that.
Oh, we got a new Cheryl says it's hard for it is hard for Facebook has no search potential. Oh, okay. Never mind.
So that's why the thing didn't show up on Twitter on Blake Jamieson. I was like, this thing's broken. It's not working.
Yeah, I was watching the MRcap the feed, and I looked down and I said, "Oh, Pool Supply World. Wait a minute."
Yeah, no, that's cool. And 8 to 10 people came on. So that's great. Now I need to do a new one.
Are you doing it in your bathing suit? You and you both are just swimming. Anyway, that would be funny.
Cynthia just made the room quiet.
Yeah, I would.
It would be hilarious.
Viewers.
So
Timothy
those
knows.
of
If
you,
he gets more viewers, I'm down.
Yeah, it's next thing you know, it'll be Periscope hacks and
Yeah.
it'll be great.
okay, so those of you guys who are watching and are on the Twitter chat right now, and if you're not on the Twitter chat, get on it. It's hashtag MRcap. How many of you guys are using have iOS devices and are even able to play with this stuff yet? I know that both Periscope and Meerkat are very soon to come out with Android apps. I don't have any idea if they have any plans for Windows, but I'm kind of interested to see what you guys have going on.
Well,
Obviously, you guys that I'm looking at have iPhones, but
Well, and another thing that I told Timothy is Hang With, another app that is available on Android, which is nice. There are some disadvantages to Meerkat and Periscope, but there's also some cool stuff. They've kind of nailed like categories a little bit better, so discovery can be easier, where you can go to a comedy channel and that, you know, or you could go to a music channel and then you can see a bunch of people that are streaming music, like at concerts and stuff.
that's
So,
pretty cool.
and interesting.
yeah, but I think like with Twitter, they're so big, and that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen, right? I mean, what's the issue there with streaming other people's music? Wah, wah. I'm sorry, Debbie Downer. Sorry.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've seen a lot of is people will, like, I actually watched a guy briefly flipping through his Flipboard and talking about what's going on in marketing. So he was looking at marketing, but he had like Pandora or Spotify or something rolling in the background. So he was basically had his own music track going on there. I don't know. It's interesting. One other thing.
I did a little DJ blend set on Meerkat.
Yeah.
I basically just Meerkatted, and then I was just like playing different music. I was like, yeah, this is like what it's like to be a DJ.
Maybe Facebook will buy Meerkat.
I think Snapchat will. I think it would be smarter for Snapchat too.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, that is true.
And Snapchat has the money to do it. I mean, not as much as Facebook, but they could get her done.
Yeah, I mean, just everybody's compiling all of the same similar things up against each other. It's this little army of whose side are you on. It's like Android versus iOS almost. Android, iOS, and the Microsoft phone, if anyone out there has the Microsoft phone. But it's definitely...
So Ben was asking, he says, it doesn't seem like you can watch Periscope videos on mobile. I mean, so if you watch a Periscope video, you pretty much have to have the Periscope app. Is that the way it works, or can
So he means mobile, like not in the Periscope app, but like mobile browser.
Right. That'd be my guess, anyway.
Yeah. I'm not sure, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it says here, though, that it can open up in its own web page. So then, well, yeah. Yeah, probably not. I'm sorry. I'll test you later. Yeah.
Well, this is all new stuff, especially with Periscope. Unless you were in the beta, you're just getting to see it today for the first time. So we're all trying to kind of figure it out as we go, and I think it's exciting. I'm back and forth, but I'm digging the Periscope. I think that they have some stuff that they gotta fix. They gotta give me the ability to schedule some of this stuff. Like tonight, I wanted to let people know that I was going to be doing a pre-show, so I had to I put a tweet in Buffer and had it send out a few minutes beforehand. But I couldn't put a link in there because I didn't have, like with Meerkat, when it gives a schedule, it shows you the link to the Meerkat, to the actual stream I couldn't do that because I didn't know what it was until I actually started the stream.
Have you tried that on Meerkat? Because I tried to schedule one like an hour in advance, and then when it came time, I didn't really know if I'm just supposed to like press stream or like
Yes.
how.
I have the answer for this one. I know this one because I streamed for 40 minutes to a blank audience. And well, actually, there were like 11 people hanging out in the Meerkat for 40 minutes. But Ben was actually there, and he said it was just a blank screen. So what happens is when you schedule, you type in whatever your title is, and you hit schedule, you put your picture in there and your time and all that fun stuff. And the thing was that I was kind of expecting something to happen for Meerkat to say, hey, it's time to go, press this button to start now. You're looking for that, but it's not there. So the mistake that I made was I retyped my title in there, and I hit stream from there. And what that did was it created a second stream, and apparently that's some kind of bug where they can't have the two streams active at one time. So when you're going to schedule a Meerkat, you type it in the first time when you do your scheduling, and then when it's time to actually start the stream, all you do is press the stream button. So yeah, that's how to fix that issue. But yeah,
I think I must have messed that up.
I definitely did. I know I did. So it took me a little while to figure it out and look around and kind of get it, but because it was saying that Meerkat tells you when it's time to stream. No, they don't. They just show a countdown. So I actually had Ben, who's on with us tonight, Ben Johnson. He was hanging out in the black screen, and I was like, well, since I got you on there, let's try this. And I scheduled one for like 2 minutes later, and he could see the countdown, and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do it like this, and then he actually watched it start and was able to see it. So
share broadcast, cool. So my buddy Ed Brophy sent me a screenshot. He is on my Periscope right now, and he said how to share the broadcast. So if you click, I guess, up at the bottom to see all the viewers, you could see the viewers, and you can also see 3 web viewers, so people can view it from the web allegedly. And that's also how you can share broadcasts. So you can share it after, which is cool. So thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. You're super awesome. Look further down. Got it.
Interesting. I wonder if you need to leave the app to share it, or is there just a button there that you can use?
Ed, I'm going to retweet your quote with the hashtag MRcap, because that is the live Twitter chat for what we're doing right now.
All right. Well, we've spent another week with some live streaming stuff. I think it's getting interesting, and the more players are coming out, and things are starting to change a little bit. And I'm really interested to see where this is going to go, because I think there's a lot of potential for folks. I don't know if the lack of audience we saw tonight just happens to be for the time of day, or if it was a lot of the Meerkat people moving over to Periscope to see what that's all about. But
I'm not surprised about that. I mean, so it's a really interesting time, I think, for marketers, because with kind of, all these options all of a sudden, and it's such a hot topic that it's like, well, shoot, which one is gonna, you could spend so much time. Like, I've already spent a bunch of time trying to get my Meerkat score up, and then I've already kind of gotten discouraged. I'm not going to get on the leaderboard, so that's why I'm totally looking into Hang With and Periscope to see if I can get into it early enough to actually be like an influencer on it. But
I actually thought
I waste so much time like learning a platform and all the little tricks if it fizzles out.
I have to say also, like, the whole tweet showing up in search results, and Google's like goal to make search results timely and more more like valuable. I mean, having a live stream something that could change search too. Something to think about.
Yeah, very well could.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting if sorry to jump in, but like if there was a cool concert going on that I knew was going on, or a cool a presentation, a keynote or something, I would totally look in search to be like, where's the live stream of Gary Vaynerchuk at XYZ talking right now? I'd love to see it happen, and in that case, he'd be the one streaming it. But In other cases, you could search, and if tweets were showing up, you know.
Exactly. I mean, it'd be cool because I think someone said something about this changing the presidential elections. If you were searching for how a candidate feels about a certain topic, or in general, I mean, these are the things that would pop up, and then in real time, I mean, it's a game changer all around.
Yeah. Actually, social media marketing world just started today, and I watched part of the keynote with Michael Stelzner. Somebody was streaming it on Periscope this morning, and I watched another one of the Cliff Ravenscraft, who is the podcast Answer Man. I actually got to watch part of one of his speeches as well, so that's kind of interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how some of these conferences start reacting to that stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they're e-tickets, they're virtual tickets to some of these events, and if people are streaming it, that's kind of taken away from some of the revenue from the event.
Yeah, well, good luck streaming, and I can barely get the internet to work at these conventions half the time.
Yeah, Brian Fanzo, who's a friend of ours, I think, and iSocial Fans on everything. He's been one of the early Meerkat adopters and influencers, and he was on Periscope this morning quite a bit today, and he had like a great reception as he was walking to the convention center, and I tried to catch him on several different and he's doing this on Periscope now, and he was trying to stream several different other occasions during social media marketing world today, and I could only get him for 45 seconds at a time. And it was interesting. One of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about Periscope, just to note, as I was watching this, was as the presenter was dropping their stream, as his audio and his video went out, the chat still continued. So I was able to actually interact with other people who were sitting there watching it, so it became its own little chat room. And every once in a while, Brian would pop back in when his data started connecting. Yeah. Interesting little tidbit. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up tonight?
Yeah, I'm super mad. They're still hiding on my photos and videos, but that's all. Just
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that as soon as I get out of here and see if that's happening to me. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
Periscope also has pinch to zoom.
Oh, it does. I didn't even notice that.
My friend Ed just sent that to me.
Yeah, nice. I like that. All right. Well, before we go, I want to remind you guys that we send out a list of stories, or we try to, that go along with the Hangout each week. You can sign up at marketingrecap.com/newsletter to get a little bit of heads up on what we're going to be talking about. And I know that I want to issue an apology to all the viewers last week who had a hard time trying to get into the stream. When I was inviting Cynthia and Blake in here, I turned off the stream and I turned it back on. What I didn't realize is that I turned on a Hangout that I had scheduled for later on in the week for a webinar that I was going to do. So I thought I was on the Marketing Recap webinar broadcasting to everybody, and all you guys were just kind of sitting back waiting for it to start, and we were actually at a different location. So we got everybody straight by giving out the YouTube URL, but sorry about that. Definitely something I'll be aware of for the next time. So why don't we go around the room and wrap up and say what's going on and how they can connect. We'll start with Cynthia since we started with Blake earlier.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm Cynthia Johnson, and you can connect with me, Cynthia at socialmediaclub.org. You can find me on Twitter at Cynthia Live, or you can find me on Google Plus at plus Cynthia Johnson.
Ooh, switching it up.
Switching it up. I was like, I'll throw something out there. There you go.
I stick to the old habits, old standbys. What's up, Blake? How about you, buddy?
Cool. We're going to go with Twitter this week, at Blake Jamieson on Twitter. And don't forget, twitterworkshop.com for the 7-day to Twitter domination workshop with myself and my friend Scott Stawicki. And basically what we're doing is we're taking his Twitter profile, which is essentially non-existent, not a ton of followers, not a ton of engagement, not a ton of anything. We're building it up. We get a little bit of a head start, and it is absolutely crushing it. He's almost up to 1,000 legit, real, engaged followers in 1 week. So yeah, that's twitterworkshop.com. And actually, I noticed just during MRcap, we sold 2 more spots, which means we have 6 left. out of 20. So get it while you can.
Awesome. While supplies last.
Exactly.
I need a starburst.
What?
The graphic, not the.
Oh,
figure.
yeah. Okay.
All right, I'm BJ. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Meerkat, and Periscope at BJ Smith Strategy. All of those. What the heck? I'll throw out. Go find the Busy Marketer on Facebook. I need some fans there. I haven't really paid much attention to it. I kind of want to start building it up, especially since this video stuff's out, and give it a little more go ahead. So. I think I need like 2 more people to get me to change my front number on my number of followers, which isn't very hard. But so yeah, come check me out, and check out the Busy Marketer podcast on, like I said, on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all those fun things. Got a new episode coming out soon, and with that, we're going to wrap it up tonight. Let me start up the thing. I want to thank everybody, by the way. Thank everybody who joined us on the chat at the hashtag MRcap chat. Those of you who watched us on YouTube or Google+, thanks for hanging out with us. And we're going to head on out. Thanks for joining Marketing Recap, the show that gives you a peek inside the world of digital marketing. Remember to join us next Thursday for the live show at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Google+, or Twitter using hashtag MRcap. And please tell your friends about the show, subscribe via iTunes or Stitcher, and view all episodes and news stories at marketingrecap.com. See you next week.